Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Hoy es martes, el 17 de noviembre o miércoles, el 18. La pregunta para hoy, your key question for your warm-up, ¿conoces alguna persona famosa? Y sí, ¿quién es? If you know a famous person, do you know a famous person? And if so, who? And you can include in English if you'd like a little bit of the backstory as to how you met them. If you don't know anyone famous, you haven't met anybody famous, indicate who you would like to get to know, who you would like to meet, and why. And you have this in your notes actually from the guided notes, the guided practice we did on the PowerPoint that covers saber and conocer. So, si conozco a, and whoever it is you know, or yo quiero conocer, in the person, porque me gusta su música, porque me gusta jugar fútbol americano, porque mi equipo favorito son los 49ers, lo que sea, ¿cierto? We're going to review the homework core workbook pages 22 and 23 in great detail today. So you can pull that up. And we're going to talk about how to go about making comparisons with tan and tanto. And the two things that you really need to do for this homework, again, core page 22, is to first conjugate the verb according to your subject. Right? Whatever the verb is that's provided there in this middle group, conjugate that verb according to the first subject. And if you're a little unsure as to how to do that, then you can look up in word reference the verb that's in question. Where'd it go? There it is. So for example, the verb tener, let's say you don't remember how to conjugate tener. You know tener means to have, but you forget how to conjugate it. So we'll type tener into wordreference.com. And you'll see here there are a bunch of options at the top. We're going to pick the option that says conjugación. And then here you have the conjugations of tener. And the one that we want to use if we're talking about El Club de Ajedrez would be the el ella form, right? Because we're talking about something. In this case, about the chess club. That would be tiene. That's how we get tiene for the correct conjugation of tener. And then you look at the second word, and if that second word is an adjective, then you would use tan como to make that comparison, right? Tan and como going on either side of the adjective. If the key word here after the verb is a noun, like reuniones is a noun, it means reunions or meetings, then you're going to use one of the forms of tanto. Tanto and como would go on either side of reuniones. And just remember, tanto, the ending changes to agree with the noun in gender and number. Gender meaning masculine or feminine, number meaning singular or plural. Reuniones is feminine plural. We could look it up in word reference to double check, but I know that it's feminine plural, so we're going to put tantas right here in front of reuniones. It goes on either side of the key word, right? Tantas reuniones como, don't forget como, goes after, and then el club de computadoras. So if we run that back, el club de ajedrez tiene tantas reuniones como el club de computadoras. And that's essentially what you're going to do for 1 through 7. Conjugate the verb that's provided, and then figure out the next word is an adjective. If it is, use tan. If the next word in the second group there is a noun, then you're going to use one of the forms of tanto. For 23, you're doing what we've looked at thus far the past week, filling in the blanks with the correct form of saber or conocer, and then use the notes on page 56 to guide you through that reasoning. Remember that saber is used to talk about information, right, or skills, and that the key words or context clues would be an interrogative, que, como, cuando, por qué, donde. An interrogative if it's talking about knowing information or facts, and a verb in the infinitive if it's talking about knowing a skill. Conocer, on the other hand, is used to know people and places. And by the way, anytime you have a mix of those two context clues, let's say you have an interrogative, but you also have a person or a place, we'll always go with the interrogative as our primary clue, and we would go with saber in that case. So use those notes that you have. We're on page 56 if you want to look back on that page, and then fill in the blanks accordingly. This was your homework from last class. All right, so that is our agenda for today, martes el 17 de noviembre o miércoles el 18 de noviembre.